Okay, as far as dividing decimals, there are two issues. The first issue doesn't even deal with the decimal. The first issue is really long division. We're still struggling with long division. I don't think as many of us are proficient at it as we should be. And then secondly, it's the fact that with decimals, we don't know what to do with the decimals. So we're going to focus on the second task. This is going to kind of assume that we know how to do long division somewhat proficiently. That being said, let's go ahead and assume we had a problem. Let's say we have 25 and 62 hundredths, and we're dividing it by 1 and 4 tenths. Okay, so I think the first thing we need to figure out is, okay, what are we actually doing when we divide? Well, when we divide, we have the dividend. The dividend is being split up in by the divisor. Okay, so we could think we have groups of 1 and 4 tenths, or we have 1 and 4 tenths groups, and we see how many are in each group. Okay. That being said, when we divide, oftentimes we could think of it as a fraction also. So we could think of it as 25 and 62 hundredths over 1 and 4 tenths. This is a fraction from this division expression. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to think and I want to say, okay, well, I want to get rid of the decimal on the divisor. So if I want to do that, I could actually multiply by the giant 1 and multiply the numerator and the denominator by 10. That gets rid of the decimal, and what we have is we have an equivalent fraction of 256 and 2 tenths over 14. Okay, hopefully you guys remember that if we multiply by 10, since there's 1 0, we move the decimal over one place value. Okay, so we actually end up with this new fraction, 256 and 2 tenths over 14, which is actually, if we think of it as division, 256 and 2 tenths divided by 14. Now we have a division expression that we could work with. We could work with this division and use long division now. Okay, and if I want to get rid of decimals altogether, I can multiply by 100 instead of 10 and move the decimal over another place value on both the numerator and denominator, but the quotient would still be the same. So I like to just get rid of the decimal on the divisor. Okay, so that being said, let's set up the long division now. Some of you guys might remember my silly way to remember it. I say top dog in the house. Okay, so the numerator would go in the house, or the first number would go in the house. Whatever we use to remember it, well, we know we're gonna have 14, and then let's see, we have 256 and 2 tenths, and we're splitting it or dividing it by 14 now. Again, this is after we move the decimal over. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do the long division. 14 goes into 25 once. 1 times 14 is 14. We're going to have 11 left over. We're going to drop down to 6. Okay, 14 goes in 116, I think, 8 times. And really, there's no way we could, nothing else we do. We just need to work it out and double check it. So 14 times 8, 4 times 8 is 32. 11. Yep, so 8 times. 8 times 14, we already did, is 112. So we have 42 left over, and perfect. I think we're good. 14 goes into 42. I know it goes in 3 times. Exactly. 3 times 14 is 42. Nothing left over, and the decimal goes straight up. Okay. What I should have mentioned earlier is that when we did 14 divided by 25, since we're dividing by 25 and not just 2, the however many times 14 goes into 25, the 1 goes right above the 5. Okay, not above the 2, but the 5. That was another common mistake I saw. So the quotient is going to be 18 and 3 tenths. So if we go back to the top, we know that 25 and 62 hundredths divided by 1 and 4 tenths is 18 and 3 tenths. And we can certainly double check that by multiplying it out.